particularly when it comes to the exemplar prophets. It's sometimes very important for us to hear some of these stories of their lives from the earliest of times. Some shining examples of these is those where prophets like Ibrahim were saved from the fires of those who wanted them to stop questioning their worship of creations and inventions. Things like this are not just because these individuals had a different liking for different things. They knew things were wrong and wanted to teach the nation. And they were kept pure rather than, like most of us, having made mistakes and had to go back and restore that relationship with God, are lifted up to a place that would have prevented those deeds in the first place. Sometimes people need to be asked questions. Sometimes we need things within us to progress. From belief to faith to knowledge. In general, we need to leave the places and things by which others worship alone. Some of these things in the past happened so that questions could be asked of the people, that they would, at least temporarily, realize. One thing that God can do that others didn't do is God can decide which direction we see the sunrise or sunset from. Abraham went through what we call Jordan, Syria, Palestine, and Egypt after leaving what we now call Iraq. Abraham was tested in regards to fearing for his and his wife's safety. And they lived a long life. And eventually, Hajar had Ismail, and Abraham had a dream. And you all know the dream, that basically he was like some of the people he heard of, and he questioned the sun, and he went up, and, well, the willingness was a willingness as if the dream came from God. So God stopped him and rewarded him. Then he had Isaac, and then he separated from his wife and first child, keeping Sarah. And Hajar wandered back and forth, worrying about water, and that happened. And that's where the Zamzam water came up. And Abraham also set up a place of worship for all humanity. And before this place of worship, things were local places. And you find older than Judaism references among the ancient Egyptians, amongst the Tibetans, amongst the Hindus, of this place in Western Arabia, which was a universal place of worship. The Jurham tribe saw birds hanging about, and Ismail married into that tribe. It's said that Ibrahim occasionally would visit Ismail. I can't say there's anything that says that he visited his father, whom he was estranged to, but his father wanted to press him on religious grounds. Then it is said that he established a place of worship at what's now called Palestine, in the place of Salem. And by Palestine, it wasn't called Palestine, that, and Prophet Muhammad didn't call the place Palestine, but Qadasa, the Holy Land. And the influence of Abraham in his worship and his connection to the line of prophets that descended from him is why we call it Abrahamic religion. And it's why I use the term pseudo-Abrahamic religion to denote those that have turned things into professional priesthoods and polytheisms and all sorts of stuff that's not truly part of the Abrahamic religion. Because if Abraham is not the spiritual guide that we look at, oh, sure, we have our local or rules of the ages, but we all, ever since, look to Abraham. At least those who follow the prophets descended from him. And back to the father thing, let us remember that he did advise the father, and any person of any different station can do that.